Whoa. Where are you from? That's great. That's great. So at Centennial College, we do have a software engineering AI program. And this AI program is sponsoring this event. And I'd like to speak about it a little bit more, okay? I have a few slides, I'd like to share them with you. Is that good? Okay, great. So I'm gonna, I think, is my voice clear without the mic? It is, yeah, okay. So for people not from Centennial, we are the School of Engineering and Applied Science, which is CTAS. One of the departments under the school is Information and Communication Engineering, technology. What we offer, it's really, or that's what they say about us, we are the destination for computed focused post-secondary programs at diploma, advanced diploma. We even have a degree program and postgraduate certificates. So our artificial intelligence program is part of the advanced diplomas. And in advanced diplomas, these are 3-year full-time advanced diplomas. We have an option. We're going to see the options that people can join these diplomas. We also have in our communications a networking degree for anybody who's interested in networking. It's a bachelor's degree with honors. And I think we're the only place that you can find a networking degree, okay? Mobile application development postgraduate certificate. And my colleague here, Vinay, yeah, he's the leader of this certificate. If anybody's interested to ask any questions about it. So it's 1 year, correct? 1 year postgraduate certificate, and it's all focused on developing mobile apps. There's also a cyber security postgraduate certificate. I believe it's also 1 year. And we've got Internet of Things certificate, postgraduate certificate. But my focus is mine, the AI, okay? And I guess, you know, from what we saw, it's not working. It's okay. In the morning sessions, the Google colleagues that came from Google, more or less, I was looking, more than 50% of the presentations were about AI, okay? AI is being recognized by the federal government in their budget this year. They allocated $2.4 billion just for research and encouragement in AI. Another source we have is actually Centennial College. We participated in this study. It was a study about the market and the projected growth in AI jobs. So between 2018 and 2023, 30% jump in postings that required AI expertise. This will continue to grow at a rate of 5.1%. So it's worth people, I guess everybody heard Henry when he said his 1-year-old daughter was saying AI, AI, right? it's worth. Oh, can I?
Use mic.
Yeah, I can use the mic. Yeah. Which one? Oh, is it working? Hello? No. Number 4? No. About the program, this program didn't come out of like we didn't wake up and say in 2000. We started thinking about it in 2018. We brainstormed, but we worked with industry. So we collaborated with industry, and we have a lot of industry partners that help us shape the program and make sure it is relevant to the market and make sure that it contains what employers are asking for in people who are going to work in AI. So basically, it focuses on augmented analytics, AI-driven development, and autonomous things. The areas we focus on covering through the program, like some of these areas, is modern software design and AI frameworks. So it's not just a data science program. We take the AI from the AI capability integrated all the way into an AI application. Machine learning, deep learning, pre-processing, data visualization. We also cover big data fundamentals. A lot of, we've graduated so far actually 3 batches. And I know of my students, over 4 or 5 are in cloud, working in cloud applications and or cloud data engineers. Natural language processing and software bots, generative AI are also covered, recommender systems. So these are the areas that we cover in the program. Ultimate goal is the student graduates, he can develop an AI capability and can include it within an application framework and deploy it as a mobile app, and we're going to see some of our capstones this year and show you how our students went all the way. So summary, 3-year advanced diploma. We've got normal and fast track, meaning if you have, for example, a bachelor's degree in computer science, you don't need to do 3 years, you can do 2 years. So it's a fast track. We have a mix in our classes between people coming from high school and people coming fast track. We take 2 intakes. We accept in fall and winter. Our first batch joined in 2020, and that was September 2020. And I think everybody remembers what happened then. It was pandemic. Everything was closed. Our college just, like, they gave us approval to open the program, and we started developing the course, and then suddenly everything stopped. So we started with our first batch online, and the first time I saw the students, I taught them 5 courses online, was the day they graduated after 2 years when the college opened again. So that was a bit funny. Our second batch graduated 2023, and last Thursday, our third batch graduated. And we're talking in a total of, so far, around 350 graduates from the program. It's offered online and on-premise, and very important thing, our programs are accredited. We have an AI lab in this new building that you can see on the left as you leave. This is the new School of Engineering. And in it, we have a new AI lab with all the machines equipped with GPUs. All our classes are being taught there. So there is another thing that is unique in our offering is we offer co-op, meaning it's 6 semesters, 3 years, but if you get accepted into co-op, you do an additional 3 semesters. Those are with an employer, paid opportunities. You compete for them, like they get announced, and you join after the first year, the co-op, or actually after the 3rd semester. And our co-op, we're talking about banks like RBC, Scotiabank. We're talking about Ontario government. We're talking about Pearson Airport. So there's a lot of list of employers that take our students in co-op. So you can mix and match online with co-op, fast track with co-op. We end up with a bunch of program codes. So when I say it's accredited by KIPS, which is Canada's Association of Information Technology Professionals. And also we have accredited the program with Technology Accreditation Canada. I don't know if anybody's familiar with what gets involved in an accreditation process, but believe me, it's not an easy process. It takes us months. Basically, we get external auditors that need to interview our students, our professors, our industry partners. They have to review our curriculum. They review our assignments, our tests, and we have to fill large applications to get to this accreditation. And for a new program, it's good that we have it accredited externally by these 2 bodies. So this is our certificate of accreditation from TAC, for example. They ask me sometimes, why do you think this program is unique? So I tell them 4 things. First, we have a strong AI program advisory committee that meets with us, and this committee is from various companies, and we're going to show a snapshot on it. The second is we teach here. We don't say the student has to do self-study on his own, okay? Third, it is a comprehensive curriculum because we understand it's not just technical skills, it's a bunch of skills that will give a well-rounded professional. So there's project management, there's communication skills, there's social skills, and we believe when we show you the courses, you're gonna see what I mean by this point. And we have applied research opportunities. And this is one key strength that we're proud of. So let me go into our program advisory committee. I just took out some of the titles and the names of the companies that so you've got Manulife, Amazon, Fidelity, Vector Institute, even Google's here. Isn't that cool? Arctic AI, Yelp, Travelers, and you can look at the titles of the people. All of them are involved in AI, and these guys, they don't develop the curriculum. We do that, me and my colleagues up there. So, but we seek their advice. They're always sharing with us the trends that are happening in the market. With regard to research. We have a separate department in the college for applied research. One of its departments is WIMTAC, and we worked with them from day one. We secured a $2 million fund for applied research. And what happens is this department gets contacted by small and medium businesses that require either data analytics or require AI capability, but they don't have the resources to do that. They don't have the knowledge to do that. So, and they don't have the money to do that. So basically it would be like a model sharing. Sometimes the college pays 50% and the company pays 50%. Students apply to these positions. So as they are studying, they get assigned to work on these projects and they get paid for working 25 hours additional to their study. We've done some cool projects with, the other day we're doing a project with a hairdresser. He wants an AI app. So this is one example of a project. I was involved in this project. This is, you can say it's a business-to-business company, and it's #1 in Canada doing anything related to lens work. They wanted a recommender system to sit within their website so that they can upsell and cross-sell. We had 4 students, but they wanted us not just to build or to study the data, they wanted us to, after building the recommender system, to integrate it into their technology stack. And we did that. We learned a lot, they learned a lot, the students learned a lot, and this is the way this fund gets into use. I don't know in this room, is anybody working with WIMTAC or still applying? Not this. Yeah, you? Okay, so good. Do you share your project? Yeah, you haven't started yet. Okay, okay, cool. So we have projects in energy. We have one of our professors, 2 of our professors, 3 of our professors, Merdad, Viji, Merlin, raise your hands. All of them have worked on projects with the students. So the students are not left alone. There's always a guide with them. And here are our guides. So when we said the prerequisites are taught and not learned, if you want to learn machine learning and understand really what's happening, you need to have some solid knowledge of mathematics. That's even a little bit of calculus, to be frank. You also need software engineering, like programming, databases, etc. And we teach all of that on our databases. We have Professor Yin here. Yin. She goes SQL and no SQL. She covers everything from A to Z. In terms of programming languages, it's not just Python. We teach Java, JavaScript, and C#. In addition to mobile, Kotlin, I think, right? This is the language we teach, Kotlin. This is all part of prerequisites for being an AI engineer. And on the other soft skills, employment skills, there's a course on employment skills, communications, project management, and social responsibility. Actually, there's 3 courses on social responsibilities. So add on top of that all our AI courses that are part of this. So all the courses include a project element, and people work in teams, collaborate on the project. And all the courses, we use live data, available open data sets, and public data sets if available. So this is just to give you an idea of each semester and what gets covered under each semester. So if you look at the green courses, we've got, those are math courses. The ones in red are pure AI courses. So we don't give a machine learning course. We actually split the machine learning into two courses: supervised learning and unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning. And each of our courses is like 14 weeks. And each week you've got 2 hours theory and 2 hours lab, hands-on lab. Assignments are all include hands-on. Last year, our students joined the National Inter-University Big Data and AI Challenge. This challenge ran in the US, Canada, India, Mexico, I think 6 countries. There was 600. And 3 of our teams from Centennial were top finalists, which was good. And they won, one of our teams won the GMI, our Outstanding Science Award. Also, Women in AI Canada had a very big hackathon across universities, and 3 of our, I think one of them is in the workshop right now. One team got shortlisted in the top 6 finalists. This year, Centennial College, our School of Engineering, have an annual technology fair where employers come, and at the same time, all the capstone projects, which is the last course that we cover in our certificate, are nominated across all the department, and we get people from outside the college to judge. And good news is this year, 3 of our AI projects got selected. So one of them was an app that helps you in yoga. Is anybody from the team here? No? Okay, your project is coming. And if you look at the write-up about this project, you'll find that it captures the video. So it's a mobile app, and it captures a video of somebody moving yoga movements, analyzes those yoga movements using deep learning, and getting back with recommendations to the user. So there was a lot of deep learning, physics, mathematics, and a full app. Those can be visited. The videos for these capstone projects are available on YouTube. I don't know if I can run one of these, but let's see the second. We got another project, won the Social Innovation Award. And this is another app that uses large language models to help farmers predict a better yield and support farmers in any questions. That's why they won the social. A third app, which we call it SpeakSign, was another app to understand sign language based on sign movements of the hand, etc. All these apps we're talking full stack, like front end, middleware, back end, including the AI, including either pre-trained model, they use transfer learning on them, and deep learning, okay? So we always get the question, what kinds of jobs do our graduates qualify for or should apply for? And these, you can look at them, AI developer, machine learner, junior data scientist. So it really depends on the person and the background of that person, if he gets into a senior position or into a junior position. But the first batch, that's the batch who was in 2020, that joined 2020, graduated 2022. You can have a look at some of the companies where our graduates are working right now and what titles they have. So I think HotSuite is a medium-sized IT company. Avondex was a startup that started up with us in a project, and I think Professor Vigi was on that project where we had to do analysis. We had to do data analytics on voice. So it was a call center. They wanted to enhance the quality of their call center agents. So we had to do speech to text and then analyze that and then get it back. At the end, they improved the quality of their product, and they hired 2 of the students who worked on the project. President's Choice, I think you guys buy President's Choice. These guys have a good analytics, Point Click Care, a BMO Bank, like software developer. Again, the next batch, which was 2023 last year, and you can see Tata Consultancy. Maybe some of you, it's one of the largest consultancy firms. They just opened that downtown Toronto office. I think they're from India. And one of our graduates got employed as an AI developer, title like Python full stack engineer, data analytics, technologist. This is City of Richmond Hill. So, and last but not least, this was last Thursday, 13th of June, our third batch. Only to, like right now, they will start within a month or 2 sending, hey, we got a job here, we got a job. But 2 people have already got some jobs. Thank you, guys. I don't know if any questions.
Thank you. So, in terms of the ethics perspective, you can feel free to ask questions. This question doesn't have to be specific to engineering college. However, since we are going to have our panel discussion right ahead, and we just doesn't come to the top, so you can ask a question there as well. So, if there's any question, we'll just have for this.
There is a question.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're long enough, go ahead.
What's the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning?
Whoa, that's a good question. That's a good question. In machine learning, well, both of them learn from data, okay? Both of them have to learn a pattern. In supervised learning, the data has been labeled with an output. Meaning, if let's say I have some patient data, like blood pressure, temperature, etc., then I have a column saying, oh, this guy has a flu. That column is the output, and based on it, I can do supervised learning. I can supervise the machine to learn. Why? Because I can give it some of this data and hide the rest. When I hide the rest, the model is trained, I pass the hidden data, and I ask it, can you predict? It predicts. I can compare the output with what I have. That is supervised learning. In unsupervised, we don't have that column flu, not flu. So we can ask the machine learning to cluster the data, to group the data, okay? But I can't test how well it did, okay?
So in terms of the courses, how does it, like I saw some courses, like some slots, there's like supervised slots and unsupervised slots.
In which slide?
Like the courses.
In the courses, yeah. Okay. Yeah, let me go back to that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, guess we're done.
I guess we definitely asked some question that we had in mind. I saw quite a few of it asking them, and still we have a lot more scope to get to the next segment where we have more interactive discussion. On that note, I'd like to thank you, May, for explaining everything that's going on the technical side. So thank you so much, May.
You're welcome.
And
Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you, thank you. Oh, you got one. Okay, thank you.
This was the last segment of the event today. As part of the last segment, we will have a couple of things. actually more, you have to just gradually change. Once you have a quick discussion and we have to discuss and even talk from, he work very closely with Google on many of their products. So we can advise on the areas that are set and how Google is doing that. I can talk from the community point of view, what do I observe from day-to-day interaction, engagements with different stakeholders, community partners, and all that. There will be some things which I may be able to talk about, and from a case there will be there. Back to that, I also know that we have almost to learning subscription code.
Yes.
Right? How many of you have, I can see many of you have MacBooks, right? So I'd like to give you a quick run through how to use the code and how to apply it. For those who don't have the devices, you may do that through your mobile. I don't know how much you need it to be, but at least you get a flow of it. You will also be receiving an email from me or me, which will have the instructions manual over there, which will follow the thing. So those who do not have a laptop login, please log in while I try to put the details over this screen. Yeah.
So I think we have to log in today. They have to log in today.
Yes, so that code is only valid for today. So you have to apply that.
So to get the credit, guys, you need to log in today so that you get the $29 credit.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's a subscription code, which you can immediately buy, it's available to everyone, at cost of $9 USD. Now, with the code which I will give, you will have access to it free of cost. I will send you, so just log into your device and share some details. You will see and you will probably understand how it works. Resources allocated for the training purpose, but it will really
The person does advanced diploma in your college, right? So the companies come to hire the students, or like how does it work in the company? In that particular company?
I don't have to deal with the scanning of the long URLs. Sorry. I will just try to type it here and put it on the notepad as well.
All right, so it's working. So let me open a notepad. All right, so I have just pasted a small URL using tiny URL, not very much recommended though, but for the ease and convenience, I have just put it over there so that you can use it to get the exact link. That is nothing but a Google document which has a step-by-step instruction as well as the code, which I will give you about creating. In case you don't have your devices right now, like laptop, so you can still keep the URL with you and just follow the instructions in next few minutes. Are we good? Shall I start with the quick demo, how to use this? Okay, so I believe we all would have had it now. So I will just close this window, minimize it for now. And I will try to all right. So basically, you have a link here. If you read, you will follow it through. But if you see line number 3, which mentions about a link, you have to follow that link. I assume most of you are not familiar with this Cloud Skill platform. So if you might not have the account, you will use your Gmail to log into the account. So if you have already used this platform earlier, you might have enrolled into some certain courses or not. In order to apply, you may have to unenroll. All right. So let me go to the link here. If you see right now on the browser, first of all, it will say quicklabs.com. Quicklabs.com was a learning platform, kind of a sister concerned company of Google earlier. And Google was using this platform for their internal training for the employees. So if you join Google as an intern or whatnot, they will do some internal training. So this was the platform they were using. Recently, they have taken over this completely, and they have rebranded it called Cloud Skill Boost.google. That's the portal. So it's completely a Google portal now. However, the community activity, the way they give us this code for you to apply, is just still following those quick link. That's why I say it. So on this one, there are multiple tracks, and we get code for a specific track. I usually nowadays go for the most basic one. Even if I have to do something on machine learning or Gemini for that matter, that's happening right now, I will use the most basic one, that is GCP Cloud Essentials. GCP is Google Cloud Platform. And if you scroll below, you will see all these tracks that you can use. However, in order to apply the code, you have to come below. At the bottom, you have Google Cloud Essentials. Just under the category called Kubernetes Quest. You need to click on that. This is the point it is asking for code to apply. Now, what is the code here? I will go back to my document. And this is the one. I will apply it. Traffic lights. My goodness, what a picture. Can anybody help me? Is this the one? I think I'm a robot. All right. Okay, so that is where you go. You can verify your code that you applied in your address bar as well. You should be able to see it. Since I have not logged in, this is not my machine. I'm using the Polish device, so it's not logged into the Google. Otherwise, by default, it would have logged into me. So I will not have any of the courses which is enrolled. I will need to join here. So it is recommended that you sign in with Google. That way you don't have to go with the hassle of filling the form and all. By directly it will sign in over here. So once you sign in over here, I will let me try to sign in as well. Okay, I can see Aditya. Is it your even? Am I good if I use this? Okay. You will have to give me access. Good. Securities are in place. Good that I'm using Aditya's email, who is helping us with so many things here today, because when you go to my profile, it will already have many of them completed and maximum attempt done. So here we can see probably some option to proceed. Yeah. Okay. So if you see this, it will open up your profile and you can see your essentials here, and you will see some credits. So for Aditya, already 9 credits is there. It looks, it has came today itself. You will click on it, and you should be able to see. Okay, it has came today, June 16th, right? So previously, when we were having this code, they were giving us monthly subscription directly, but it was also observed that not everybody who is getting the code is actually using it, and that is wastage of the allocated resources, because Google is provisioning by allocating the resources so that people can use it. Now somebody gets an access, is not using it, so those resources are getting wasted. Rather, it could have been given to somebody who actually uses it. On that note, they have started giving some point at the beginning, so that when you start seriously working on it, even if you complete one of the lab, it will convert into the monthly subscription. Now, since we have chosen the most basic course for this credit, that is GCP Essentials, we can go back again. Here, this is your most basic one. And the reason I take the most basic one, anyway, we have to give a walkthrough of the basic stuff, how to use it. And that basic stuff is covered in this first lab, a tour of Google Cloud Hands-on Lab. This talks mostly about this learning platform itself. This platform will take us to the cloud platform. I will show you how. If you click on this, and this is a free anyway, even if you don't have any credit, you should be able to do this. This is a free lab. There's no cost. And there are many such no cost lab as well. It says for 5 minutes of time. It says start lab. That means once we click here, you will have a timer which will reduce the time. It also says some grading that will happen in the real time. So if I click on the start lab, it will start provisioning and allocating some resources for me to proceed. And what is that resource? A username, a password, and a project ID. So those who may have some understanding of the cloud computing, irrespective of Google or Amazon or Azure, whatever, it is segregated at the organization level, and then you have multiple projects. For every project, there would be many users. So that's why they are provisioning this already, so that you can directly start working on it. If you click on this Google console here, that is the point where it takes you to the Google Cloud Platform. Now, this part is important. You can log into your Google Cloud Platform with your own account, Gmail account. It's recommended for learning purpose, don't do it. Because Google Cloud is a paid service. And you may try to do certain things which could be really costly if you don't take caution, and if your credit card is attached over there, and if you have a habit of say, okay, yes, I agree, then it may charge you, sometimes real big. So as part of this learning, that's why we will use the student ID that got created here. If you see, by default, it is copied. If you see here, this is the same one. You can copy it from there also. Use the icon to copy so that you don't add an extra space or leave something. By default, nowadays it navigates through it. It's already over there. So we can just go next. it doesn't have a password automatically taken, I will take the password from here. So I'm not using my Gmail ID to log into the cloud platform because anything I do over there, I don't want to be charged. I use my Gmail only for the Skill Boost platform, that is a learning platform. Now, when I go here, what is in front of us is the actual Google Cloud platform. Everything that we do here will be real, just that there would be limitation because we have the training resources allocated. It's not, even if you're working in corporates and you have the real project ID, you will have certain restriction, how much resources we can spend, what has to be done, what cannot be done. Those rules would be there. As part of the training program, there are some additional rules. Other than that, every experience you have is pretty much like the actual cloud platform. On the left side, you have the navigation menu. You have all the options to choose what you want to learn and what not. The most common one and most common to begin with is called Compute Engine. As part of Compute Engine, you can create virtual machines. On that note, is there anybody who knows what a virtual machine is? You know it, Aditya, I know. Anybody else who knows what? Yes, go ahead.
Maybe GCP in our case, here we call it compute engine.
Mhm.
We can define the operating system. We can define the how much compute we need, how much RAM, and how much memory we want. We can add additional memory if we want, and we can create our own machine, and it will be charged accordingly. The more compute power we require, the more it will charge us. So yeah, it gives you the flexibility. Instead of having your own machine, you use infrastructure as a service.
Okay, that makes sense. Any additional point? Non-Google folks, like non-GDG folks, people who are with us, of course, they are in the habit of talking all this. Anybody who is attending for the first time, and I have a good. Now we have the hand. There you go. There you go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Exactly, very nice, and that goes with what was said there. One more question, all right? That question is, if you have your laptop in front of you right now, right, and I have my device, if I connect your laptop with my device and I start using your resources and you allow me to do so, is this activity a part of cloud computing? Because I am taking a resource that's not near me, I'm doing it via internet, and I'm using resources that you have, and you can allocate me resources, right? What to use, what not to use. Is this an example of cloud computing? Yes. So can I call your machine as virtual machine because I'm accessing it from my side to yours? Or let me call it that way. Is a remote machine and virtual machine same? What's the difference? Yeah. All right. Thanks for saying that. Yes, this is exactly what I wanted to tell, and great to get that answer from our audience itself. So that's one of the basic difference that we need to correlate. Usually, when you hear about cloud computing, we say that okay, this cloud computing is all about accessing resources, flexible resources with subscription pay-as-you-go model via internet. That's very much true, but the approach we take while having a remote connection with machine is different than what we call cloud computing or virtual machine. There is the primary difference is the hardware, the way virtual word has been derived from the word virtuality. That means it doesn't appear the way it is actually. When it makes you feel like a computer, it's not actually a computer the way you perceive. It's a different kind of hardware. It's just that you are seeing it in a certain way because of certain algorithm that is running and making you feel like you're accessing a computer like your remote computer. That's the difference. But thank you so much for that. For sure, I would love to give you this. Yeah, if you can come across, thank you so much. And I have some more goodies to go. And by the time I have spoken and have interacted with you, I'm pretty sure by now I should have the monthly subscription because I opened the lab and I spent some time talking about it. Usually by that time, thank you so much. Let me now do nothing but go to my Skill Boost platform and try to check here. Let me end the lab, and I have to complete the first lab completely. Sometimes it does gives it even before completing. It was happening earlier, but let me anyway see this after a refresh. Okay, so probably even on a Skill Boost side, they keep on changing certain regulation. So earlier when it was brought up, it was like you spend 5 to 10 minutes in a certain lab for which the code is taken, and you will get the monthly subscription. But Luis, who has recently, he knows the latest update, he's mentioned that no, you have to complete the first lab. So completion of first lab won't be easy. It is just navigation, how to use the platform. And then you have the next lab that is called creation of a virtual machine. So I recommend you all, those who are not part of the workshop track, is you saw how it works. You have the tiny URL code. I will be sending those details as well. Do apply for the code. Do apply that code. Get at least those 9 credits. And if possible, complete the first lab that you see here. That way you will have the monthly subscription. And after that, within 30 days, you may choose to work further on it. And even if you are able to complete one complete quest, you will have another month. So this is something we are getting, in a way, we are able to give you for free as such, but there's a real dollar value for it. So make best use of it. So this is what I wanted to show. On that note, is there anybody who has any question in this regard? Okay, so we look good. Is there anybody who can confirm they are able to see at least 9 credit when you follow the process? You are able to see it? Okay, many of you are. I'm happy that code is working, because there are times code doesn't work. In my instruction document, I have also mentioned if you face any difficulty, there is a chat support here that you should make use of, this question mark. And you can go to the chat support, post your question over there. Like, we are the facilitator who are giving you the code and the method that we are receiving. So we know by practice certain things that works, not work, but end of the day, you can reach out to the support team and they will help you out. All right, so we gave you the code that we had promised here. Workshop track people are already working on it. On that note, may I invite Luis and May? Let's have a dialogue around all we have discussed today. Let's summarize it. I would love to have this in a more interactive way. Ask questions in a way which is really you have it. I mean, you don't have to hesitate with the question. There's no right and wrong question. I won't hesitate in telling that I do not know. I do not know at all. I do not need to know everything. But if there's a question that is coming to us, I have a method to approach Google and get answers for them. And if Google doesn't know, that's also okay. It's also okay if we do not find answers from Google. But let's at least have a list of unanswered questions, if at all we have one. All right. So, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I will give you.
Well, I wanted to know.
You keep one. No, just in case needed if somebody does.
How a hard can help, for example, your career in order that you don't have your succeed for that. In your case, you mentioned that you have been working since 2007. Well, I would say for sure, like getting an MBA, always will help. But besides that, if you have experience as also our facilitators said, well, in your case, how can you go more specific? Well, what I mean by that, for example, you have experience in what field you have experience. For example, AI can be applied in many. There are literally no limits in what we can do with it. There are many ways in which you can take advantage of it. For example, if you work with AI and you saw that there was an app that some students right here were helping different farmers to be able to select a better way of actually taking advantage of the crops that they have. They live in the Middle East, in different countries that are not supposed to have like tomatoes. Like even in the Sahara Desert, you can grow tomatoes. How do you do it? They are using it. For example, in the US, there's a huge crisis when it comes to food, especially when it comes to crops. crops, tomatoes, all of that, they require a huge amount of people working for that. So the best way in which we can help them, that hey, is there a way that we can use machines to do most of the job? But when you're gonna do, like when you're gonna do one of those tasks with a normal machine, those machines, the way that they do it, it will be too, let's say, too rough. So if they are gonna take a tomato, most likely the tomato, if it's a cherry tomato, those ones are very small. So if a machine is gonna grab those tomatoes, it could end up doing some damage. How do we, let's say, measure it? If we have an AI implemented in the links that we can use, let's use Google, for example, it's my area of expertise at the end of the day. I will go and use Vision AI. Vision AI is a tool that we have that allows you to understand what the machine is doing. The machine will be able to know that, hey, this is the profit, this is how I'm going to work in this field, like this is the route that I'm supposed to take. As we all know, Amazon uses that every single day so that they can receive the next day shipment. Like, those are not being sent by humans only. Most of the time, the warehouse will be a machine that will try to use the best route possible so that it's not wasting time. The same goes for this example that we have with crops. So they will be using their areas of expertise. They will be learning on that. Once again, how do they apply it? Well, the machine is going to know these tomatoes are ready, these tomatoes are not ready. This is the amount, the exact amount of pressure that I have to use with this kind of fruit. Because if I put too much pressure on the, let's say, the hand that is gonna pick up that crop or that fruit, it's gonna be destroyed. So I'm gonna lose a lot of money. So instead of that, the machine will know, hey, based on, as we also discussed before, hey, we know by supervised learning that if we apply this amount of pressure, the output that will come is that they will be able to pick up that little tomato cherry. It's not gonna be destroyed, it's actually gonna be soft. And you will pick it up, you will put it in the basket so that you can do it over and over and over again. Why is something like that seems insignificant at first so important at this point? Well, pretty simple. Machines can do it way faster than we can. And in a country like Canada, and specifically in a country like Canada, we are the second biggest country in the world. But we only have 40 million people. The reason why I'm here, and a lot of people like are also here, is because Canada is having issues to get all the, let's say, all the positions fulfilled. So how do we do it? Well, we are getting a lot of people, even though it's not enough. It will never be enough because the more people that are coming here, the more the economy is going to grow, the more stubborn people will have, but the more needs that we will have. So how can we do something about it? You also saw that machine learning jobs are growing at a 5% rate. That is something most likely is going to be short, specifically because in the last 6 months, if you have been like looking for the news, when it comes to NVIDIA right now is $3 trillion. So they are worth even more than Apple, which is incredible. Like their revenue is just a few billion. It's still a lot of money, not even close to the value that they have. So how do you take advantage of all of that you're creating? Specifically, for example, sorry to use that example, I will see, hey, these are my areas of expertise. This is what I can see that the market needs right now. What are the needs of the country like Canada? We all know that Canada has one of the national priorities is AI. Like one of the things that is gonna make the GDP grow in the next decades to come will be AI. Canada is also the home of ChatGPT was created here in Canada. Actually, it was a project that was developed here in Canada, in another place. But hey, here, for example, in this college, there has been many different projects that have been awarded, not just in the country, but also worldwide. There are different things going on in the city. Tomorrow we'll have Collision Conference. Collision is the biggest of all the conference for startups in North America. It's more than 30,000 people coming to Toronto. Like during the whole week, I'll be with CEOs, CTOs, the whole day. So we start as a volunteer. You can also be a volunteer. Like you can be a developer. If you're already a developer and you have, let's say, if you have an account with GitHub, 2 years and a half ago, the last time that I was part of the Collision conference, it was very good because we were with COVID. I didn't have to pay anything because as a developer, you will get access to, if you have a repository, you will be eligible to receive a developer ticket. So you don't even have to pay for it. So we have a huge advantage. Now, if you want to keep like taking advantage of all of this, you need to be, let's say, connected to the news. Like best way that you can do, of course, if you want and if you can, and if you actually find value there, go for a master degree. But not just any master degree, one that goes with the experience that you have. If not, you have Google Cloud, you have SkillBoost, you have many platforms. Coursera is amazing. Coursera is really good. We use Coursera at Google all the time. Like, there are many classes from Coursera that are certified by Google. So just look for something that goes with your experience. So you can take more advantage of that. And when it comes to job search, I'm pretty sure that everyone wants to know how to work here, right? Especially in AI. Sometimes it's a little difficult to find a job in Canada. That's not a lot. But at the same time, I would say most of the reasons why we don't get those interviews will be because you are not, let's say, polishing your problems. If you have a good problem, you want to call it, I have all of these experience, but you are not showing that. You don't have a portfolio. If there's a developer out there that doesn't have a single website on his name, do you think that I will trust on that developer to develop their own website? If I can see his projects, for example. Like I have met people with way more experience than I do. I don't have much experience, to be honest, just a few years. I have been able to meet people with 20, 30 years of experience. But when it comes to show what they have, they don't even have a portfolio. So I ask them, like, hey, okay, what do you do? No, I work for all of these companies. Okay, show me. No, I don't know how. Do you think that that person will have an advantage if he competes with me, for example, that I have a portfolio? Of course. And if you have a portfolio, you have to have it in English, but you also have to have it in different language. Of course, it will be Python, whatever language you're using, it can be Golang, even, well, Ruby, Rails, I don't know, the one that you know. But at the end of the day, keep in mind that we are in a very competitive environment. The more you can show yourself, you will be better for your future. So one thing that I will always recommend, especially for developers, GitHub is free, completely free. I said before, create a Google developer account. You will receive a lot of invitations to events. Go to those events, connect with people. But not just like, hey, I want to work in Google, so how can I do it? It's not going to work. You live it's not going to work. But if you go to the events that those people are going, you end up getting someone who knows a recruiter. And that recruiter is going to tell you, hey, I'm looking for your problem. But if they said they are looking for a problem, but at that moment you don't have a portfolio, you didn't study anything, you don't have a single certification. All of these certifications are free. Like a lot of them are free, and there are people that you have to pay, like $40. That's not compared to what you can get. I have a lot of people working with me. Their salaries are very good, 6 figures. They didn't they didn't have to spend that much on the certifications, but they actually invested a lot on their education. They went to college, they got all experience before, but they were ready when the opportunity came. So I would say, hey, and with that I will conclude, sorry to be a little, but basically, first than anything, hey, polish your problems. But what I mean by that is work with your maintenance. If you have not worked with your maintenance, work with your portfolios. If you have not worked with your portfolios, you won't be able to receive those opportunities, especially if you're a developer. Any questions that you have in regards to that?
So you can see how much content is there to discuss out, right? Because people who are exposed to the area where we have this AI and machine learning discussion, and May will add to it, when academics start adding these subjects as the courses, think that they have been well thought through, because there's a huge investment when those courses are designed. Now, when you see the structured courses, it's already high time to learn them. Because when right now, if I ask how many colleges are having quantum computing courses? Very rarely. Maybe for masters or really PhD, right? So when you will see the colleges across geographies will have quantum, you will know that the time has come already, and probably it is already structured. So in terms of AI and ML, that is what we see, right? So the idea here is to really be aware what's happening around us, really listen to people. I mean, you all don't have to agree with anything that we are saying today or anything we are discussing. But the point is, you are at least understanding the different points of approaches people are having in their mind, right? It's completely all right if you have complete disagreement to anything that is being rolled out. It's perfectly okay. But you know, there is one thought process which thinks this way. On that note, I will try to bring out, because I also teach some ML and AI with some students in Java College in certain courses. And every time I ask one question to like everybody, like one of their biggest fear that they see with these technologies. And I have a list of 4 or 5 major questions they ask all the time, right? And I would like to have your view, May, and then I will go to you, Luis, as well. So, of course, two particular things I see is already at the top 3 list. One, people fear that AI will take away our jobs. People also fear that AI is too biased. Yeah. So on both account, I would like to understand your understanding, and we'll also take input from audience if you have one. What do you think? Like, I have my own perception, but I will talk about it later. What do you think, May?
Okay, so let's just talk about the first one. Will AI take over jobs? I believe, like, yes. I'm not gonna lie. But it means our jobs need to evolve. Like, if I'm a programmer, the way I used to program, I need to change the way I program. Today with Copilot, like I use it every day. I'm getting to be very good at it. I know Python. That doesn't mean that you just start being a programmer without knowing the language. You still need to know the syntax. But you can shortcut the development cycle. Previously, programmers would get stuck in syntax for hours on Stack Overflow to find out how it's solved. Today, with a simple prompt, as long as you put a really good prompt, you can get the code. You can just spend 5 minutes doing a sanity check to check that this code is correct. But did we cancel the job of the programmer? We canceled the way he did the job. Now the programmer needs, the job has evolved and he needs to think differently. Another job is my job as a professor. Like I used to ask questions like multiple choice or fill in the blanks. Now I'm stopping doing that. Why? Because everybody can put it in ChatGPT and just get the answer. So I have to evolve as a professor and think of other ways to assess, right? So that's my take on the first question. The second question is
Regarding biasing,
Bias.
whether AI and machine learning, whatever we are exposed to, does it sound and appear biased towards whatever information they're providing, or is like neutral in a way?
Depends how, first it depends on you scoping the problem. Then looking at, the bias comes from data, usually. So look at the relevant data towards that scoped problem. Look at it column by column. Do you think each column, what is the effect of it being biased? For example, if it's like the famous app that they were trying to do in the US, where they would ask, the judge would use it to decide if somebody should be paroled or remanded until the time they have their judgment. Apparently, it turned out to be a biased system, and the real problem was with the dark color skin. The model got biased because it didn't look at that. So it's not is AI biased, it's as we build AI, let's check for bias. That's the way. Check the data, but sometimes in one problem, one column is relevant for bias, but the same data with to be used for another problem, that column isn't. A third column is. So it has to be checked column by column or attribute by attribute against the problem.
And I will say that we all know that when Gemini came out, it was an embarrassment. We all know that when they went live and they showed what Gemini was capable of, the way they decided to present Gemini was, let's say, arguably not the best at that point. So a lot of things happened. People were saying that Gemini was not capable of doing whatever they were saying. But at the same time, we saw that, for example, we know that AWS had these stores in which you could go inside the store, grab anything that you wanted, and AI was supposedly looking around, was like directly letting a system know that you grab, let's say, those Doritos, and that your total bill was supposed to be $2. In the end of the day, it was a company in India with about 2,000 employees, which job was only to be looking at a computer screen and looking at their security cameras and determining how much you owe. So when you see all of those things, you start to believe that, hey, so if that's what they are saying that it's AI, it's actually not AI instead, is the AI going to be also biased? As we mentioned, it could be because of your origin. Like, it could be a Latino, so a Latino is not supposed to whatever. So how do you get that? Like, how do you get to those responses? It's all depending on how data is being structured. As you just mentioned, yeah, for some, let's say, personalities, it will be more than those columns. But for the other ones, it could be ended up giving a biased version. So how do we see if it's safe or not? I don't really have the time to show that, but one of the things, the presentation that our colleague here had was ethics in AI. We would like ethics, like if we actually have very good processes. AI nowadays is not just what my model A is going to tell me, especially Gemini, right? Gemini is a multi-model. So it's not just one model saying like this is the answer, it's actually going to verify. So how do they do it? Like, yes, it will be a single model, a huge language model actually. It's called large language model. However, the way it's going to work is that it's going to go for different layers. So the first layer is going to be an answer to the model. So the model is going to run that answer into a second. That way, it's, and I have to be honest, right now it's not perfect. There's nothing that's perfect at this point. But most of the biggest language models out there, what they are doing is that, especially GPT-5, it's about to go. What they are doing is that they have this first output, they run the output again, they cross-check, because the way that they are going to be more secure, the way that they are not going to feel so biased, let's say, is that if they double check, triple check, many times there are different layers. The more layers that the system has, the more secure, the less bias is going to become. But the problem that we have right now is that we get so many layers, the response times are going to be, a little bit more time consuming. So we're trying to look for a balance, because at the end of the day, if AI keeps going, AI is going to behave like us. And even though we don't want to behave in certain ways, humans are going to always, at least in a minimum way, feel in a certain way about any topic. So regardless of that, the person who was creating the software was feeling in a certain way, that it could go all the way to the software. Only way we can make it better is that if we use different, let's say, programmers, so that it's not only one person giving all the answers. Also use the same way, don't use only one model. The best way of cloud is multi-cloud. Like Google works amazing with people tools. It works incredible with Azure. I would say don't just use one. You can have a main one, but the more options you have, it will give you a better perspective. And when it comes to jobs, just to complete them, of course, a lot of it's on demand, but most of them will be like manual tools. Jobs that don't require you, like to be so, let's say, knowledgeable, the more is like the more skill you need or you require for a certain, the more you are like learning, the more you are capable of providing value to that job that you do, the safer you will be. Like if you go against AI, it will happen to you the same that happened many, many years ago to Nokia. Like, hey, they didn't want to think of me because they were number one or whatever. The same happened here in Canada with BlackBerry. BlackBerry used to be the number one company for phones. It was amazing. But what happened? They are out of the business because they did not like understand that they need to innovate. So if you want to keep your jobs in AI era, start to use AI in your jobs. Start to master AI because the more you know about AI, the more secure you will feel using AI to your advantage. And AI is not going to be against you. You will be using AI. That's what I think.
Nice one. It was definitely very elaborate and a lot of context to touch it through. You mentioned about BlackBerry. I had opportunity to work with BlackBerry very recently, like last few years before. Uh, I have a question for everyone: how we see BlackBerry now? Like when I was adapting to the technology and stuff, I was knowing BlackBerry as a phone company. How many know BlackBerry as a mobile device company? Most of you. What company it is right now? It's a security company. So it took me a while to realize some of the apps me and my organization was using for a while. I was in South Africa for a few years, and that time we were using an app to provide security to the mobile official devices like the office mobiles, office phone. I was not aware that is being made by BlackBerry that time because all I knew BlackBerry is a phone company because that's what we have seen, right? So companies, some of the company has transitioned from one method of, and let's call it this way, for BlackBerry, making phone was their job. The transition in technology, they lost that job, but they transition into another. How much they are, scaling up, how much they are doing, is a very different story altogether. Just so that you know why BlackBerry was able to become a security company, why unlike any others, is while they were building the phone, they were creating a lot of security IPs. They have a lot of patents. Thousands and thousands of patents are with them that they created because they were working on that mode, but they could not catch up with the market. There are various reasons. There are many debatable reasons. If we don't go into that as well, they had never realized these patents are their assets. And then they had their leadership changes and they realized, okay, you have so much patents. They started getting those patents kind of rented away and so much structure. They are still surviving, but of course not at par with many companies. But the idea is at the job point of view, whether the AI will take away our job, the jobs are always going to stay there. Jobs are not going to go anywhere. Somebody will be doing it. If machines are doing it, humans are supposed to do something different. There are so many problems that is not solved. If humans are so free that they need a job, go find the solution for Alzheimer's disease. We don't have one. 100 years since it is a known disease. There's no solution to it. There are so many problems that is unsolved. Humans should not be involved in doing a clerical job, which is monotonous, repeated. Are we worried about things that has to be done as part of the job for last 30, 40 years? Or do we want to be, or do we want, let machines do it if they can. Let them create crops for entire planet so that nobody is hungry. Let them create devices for everybody, which is climate-wise sustainable if they can. When I say they, I'm talking about the complete ecosystem which is built over AI and machine learning. If they are able to solve the problem of climate crisis and stuff, so it be. We humans have a lot of things to solve, a lot of problems to solve, a lot of areas to work on. Probably we'll get a direction over there. What we fear is not probably losing a job, the fear of change that we will have to bring in, because we have got a degree of comfort level in what we're doing right now. 20 years back, when computerization had not happened, 30 years back, people were still maintaining banks were maintaining their balance sheet on the books through hand and pen, that time they felt their jobs will go away when computers will come. Right now, see the number of bank branches we have, how much transactions we are doing. The number of transactions, the banking transaction we are doing is at least 100 times or probably more than that, than what somebody was doing 20 years down the line. Now, these transactions are pretty much an IT activity, but see how many people are employed. Jobs will definitely change the shape. The reason I feel there's not much to worry about the job, as long as you're willing to educate yourself, reform, take the new skills and adapt, is there are a lot of things we are not able to do because we are not focused into a direction. There are a lot of things to do. As to the biasing also, I have some comments there. Precisely, let's admit, we are the humans, we are more biased, whom we are complaining about. Come on. We humans as a civilization, we are looking to perspective. Every time we are trying to create some machine which makes and behaves like us, we are so keen about it. We really love thinking that, okay, let's have something which behaves like us. But we are not able to treat another human who is already a human in the same way. So let's admit and have some introspection. It's not about right and wrong and what way and I don't even interpret bias in a certain way. Certain biasing is in a way right, because you can call that in the category of personalization. For example, if I ask Siri or any AI-based tool, suggest me a game to play today. I have my Indian origin. Probably it will suggest me cricket. I will love it. It's not biasing. I love it. It's a demography thing. It's pretty much the cultural thing that we have to. So we need to be very cautious when we define something as biasing and something which is a categorization based on the personalization. We should not start tagging everything that is happening that, okay, this is biased information or whatnot. End of the day, this entire ecosystem is built on the data that we have filled in for last many, many years. Say 50, 70 years at least, since we have this digital, archiving of all the information which it is taking up. Yes, there are certain algorithms, and I will call the option for that is a regulation. And that regulation is needed anyway in our in general activities also. It's not limited to AI. So on that would be my opinion. And I mentioned at the beginning that everything that we are saying it is our opinion, and you definitely can disagree with everything that is being said. So on those two notes, that was my opinion. We have pretty much talked about primary two area, which is always discussed. I see this all the time, this biasing and the job thing. I have my next outlook to talk about regarding AI and machine learning. Which stage we are in? Which stage we are in? Is it like a very early stage, or is it something where ecosystem has matured? Where do we feel? What do you think? Are we still in the early stage of it?
We're in I don't know if you read some classifications of AI. We're still in the era of narrow AI.
Yeah.
Like we have not, like we've advanced a lot, definitely the past 2 years, because there was this Turing test that came up, and the Turing test, one of the things is, can the machine talk like a human? I think we've reached that, but still in reasoning and we're still not there. We're scratching the surface at this point. And it's becoming a reality in our lives, in our kids' lives. It was actually a reality since 1990. Nobody noticed that spam. Everybody knows the spam folder.
Yep.
In the 80s, actually, they started. What's behind it is a need-based algorithm. It's a supervised machine learning algorithm that picks up the spam email from the non-spam. So where we were those days, where we are now, there is a huge, huge advancement. And the good thing is the past 2 years, the application of the generative AI has proven to be diverse and can be implemented in many scenarios. So for sure it's going to affect the way we write code, because this thing can write code. We have what? It's learning from GitHub. Another use case, I have a neighbor, she moved from, I think, Markham to where I live, and she had to quit her job, so she got a new job. How's your new job? She's an accounts receivable. You know what they do? But she's accountant. So, yeah, I'm fine. How's the company, the new company? So, yeah, we've got 3 bots. Just drinking coffee. Somebody who's got nothing to do with AI, she said, the company has 3 bots. Okay, so what are you doing? She said, all the cases that the bots can't solve, they escalate to me and I solve them. And it's part of her new life. So this is great, I think, great. Yeah. And she's speaking about it so comfortably, like, you know.
Like, I will say, in regards to that, example, there are many use cases for AI in which we can like boost the productivity in a way. Like, once again, if we focus on Canada, and I want to use Canada as a study case, because here in another place, like, it's also thinking in the same way that we are. How do we compete that 2 biggest economies when it comes to growth at this point? Yeah, we always have the States, but how do we compete with China and India when they have so many people very well educated coming to the market? We don't have enough people. So when we compare the capacity that we have at this point with the capacity that China and India have, how do we compete with it? If it comes to like professionals, we are really close to the amount of professionals that New Delhi has and that all the professionals that Canada is capable of getting in one is not even close to the amount of professionals that just one state of India or one of the mega cities that China has at this point are able to get. How do we compete with it? How do we still become one of the top growing economies in the world? How do we do it? The only way will be by innovation. The only reason why Canada is still one of the best countries when it comes to innovation is because we know that we have limited resources. And the most limited resource that we have as a country is the number of people we have. We have so much space and so much of it is empty. So I will say for sure, every single day you will notice that AI is more available to your daily life. I mentioned before during my first intervention, all of you in your phones, regardless if it's Android or if it's iOS, you already have access either to ChatGPT or to Gemini. Gemini is not actually built into your Android device. So at this point, everything is going to start to change. Now when it comes to the maturity of the AI, of course we are just the first steps. Like 2 years ago, we were not even close to what we have at this point. Just wait for GPT-5 to be launched. It's about to go live. And that model is insanely more capable of what 4.0 is able to do. Our 4.0 was already 5 times better than 4. So just give that a few months, we will see. The only issue that I will say that we're getting closer and closer to that is about the GPUs. Because even though the processing power is still going up, the speed in which we can increment the number of functions that the GPUs are able to do, that one is potentially limited. So there's like a physical, right now with the technology that we are able to have these 3 nanometer chips. And Google has the Tensor, Apple has the Apple Silicon, all of that. And they are integrated with this architecture that allows us to use AI. But there is a moment in which with that technology that we possess at this point, we won't be able to go like in a more microscopic size. Because every single time, in order to get more processing power, what we're doing is in the same silicon chip, we are trying to get more and more and more things done. But there will be a moment in which the technology that we have is not going to be enough to keep with the speed that we need for this electric environment. So if we were in a pure position, that would be a problem. But right now, in Taiwan precisely, because as you know, Taiwan is the number one facility of the world when it comes to chips, they realize, like, hey, the way this is gonna happen is that the next chips that we will be getting, those, yes, they will be smaller in the, let's say, the way that they are being constructed, but the chip itself, it will have to be bigger. Like in the previous eras, you remember that, yeah, the capacity won't be enough. So the size of the chip will have to grow so that it can keep up with the demand that we have. So we are still at a very early stage. AI is not, it's not gonna change, AI already changed everything for us. But as a country, here in Canada, we have to understand that AI is the only way in which we can still be competitive with what is like the economies that are meant to be the biggest players of the century. Because once again, the United States, huge country, amazing and everything, but the two economies that are going to grow faster than anyone else, and that are not our neighbors, will be China and India. They are amazing. Like, they really have amazing technology. With the States, it's not going to be like that, because we will always be in a, let's say, different relationship. But when it comes to be competitive worldwide, we have to, as a country, understand that AI is our key for success. That's what I think.
Definitely. So even my opinion would align and echo with what Luis and Mia has said. It's at the earliest stage at the moment, and pretty much it has scared many of us for various reasons. I do not really intend to say we should not be scared or worry about, or it's nothing about that. Definitely, it's a thing. It's inevitable. AI will be part of us in a lot different ways, in different methods. We cannot stop it. What we can do is we can understand it and we can regulate ourselves. We have seen phases of civilization having transformational changes. There was a time people used to fight with swords, bow and arrow. Of recent, how many people are harmed by bow and arrow? There was a time entire world was running through those methods to do harm or do good, whatever you call it. Right now, we're not using it. Then came a time when navigation, the naval army, whosoever had the stronger, became the army. Nowadays, it's just for business, right? So things transform over the period of time. So this is also a phase. What has made humanity and the civilization to carry forward, and probably that will be the self-regulation, the corrective mode. We let things happen because end of the day we are not, I mean, humans are about progressing and making things, new things. That has happened all the time. If you stop doing that, I don't think, I mean, slowly there would be 7 and 8 billion people over here. They will not find any sense in the idea of life itself. What are you doing there? See, altogether, majority of us, some of may be sure what is the purpose of life, majority of us are not. And that's why we try to find out different things, what it is, right? We try to do different things to just understand what is the purpose, what we should be doing, and we try to explore all our abilities. And also on that note, how many of you are too sure that you are not an AI, part of a simulator? How many of you are too sure about it? Who is having kind of a free will, which is also part of the algo? I'm just saying, I'm not submitting anything, I'm just saying, right? So the ability that makes a thing that we have a certain conscience and identity that is what makes us different from most of things that works and operates. That is where we find ourselves significantly different. And that is what we are worried about, that what if these machines gain some kind of conscience, they start thinking on their own and are beyond our control. So our major fear is about losing that control. It's pretty much, we are really happy to have a very strong servant or somebody who is willing to do things at our will. What we are worried about is, what if it stops listening to me? What if it takes control on me? So it's the fight of the control. Regulation is the key. That would be my thought here. On that note, let me open the forum for any question that you may have. Feel free to ask anything. I do not promise to answer everything, but I promise to take those questions, anything that we won't be able to answer. I also don't promise to answer accurately. I just promise to say what I think and to bring more information whatsoever I can. So, questions?
Yes, there is a complete myth that AI will take the job. No, not at all. Because as you already added BlackBerry, there are several examples. There's Nokia, completely wiped out because they never started
Yes.
They never thought of what is next,
Mhm.
what is the future. The way Samsung is altogether everywhere. They are competing Apple these days.
Yeah.
So my point is, we are the ones who are making AI. There is in another 5 years, 7 years, in another 5 or 7 years, we'll have something else. Because I am from the era where we use copies. Now it's
We send you
TVs,
the email. He
it's
wants
like
to
anything.
give
So,
the show करो
what
so
I
that
can
कि सब
add
बच्चे
into
लोग
this
डिस्कस
is just all
और
about
उसके बाद
we have
सबको लिंक
certain
भेजना
people who are expertise. There would be something AI, now maybe BI, and maybe something else, which will come to the picture eventually after 5 years down the line. So that is just my piece of suggestion.
Thank you so much for sharing that part. Just because you mentioned about the floppy, do you know what the floppy disk is? How many of you have seen that? Anybody worked on it? All right, I will join you. So my first computer which I had the access on. So the first thing I learned was and I was fortunate for that matter, right? I was in class 2 or class 3 for that matter, and I learned Logo. I don't know if you have heard the name of the Logo. It basically helps you create design by taking how much forward the line has to go, and then you create a square. Then you can create some design, something as you draw with the pen, like that. Then there was also a coding language at that point of time, similar to machine learning, but very simpler operations and activities. And yes, those machines were learning with floppy disk. And later on, when I had more access to it, then I was able to have my OS, the first DOS OS in floppy disk, and I will carry that and all the associated file. So just on that note, I would love to give you one T-shirt. What is your T-shirt size? Yeah.
5¼ inch or 3
Yeah.
and
Yeah, so those who haven't experienced that, because that's a real experience. And I had the plan actually to bring a very old device. In this IO, I could not make it. I'm still finding a working old machine which operates on floppy disk, only for those folks who never had access to it, just to experience what it was all about. How does computer look like 30 years below, and if you can work on it? We do have a plan to do our next IO also, and I will still be on that part. If anybody knows a place where I can get, a working machine, that operated 30 years down the line, that would be quite an experience, to see how the machines used to work that point of time. Probably we'll do a workshop on Logo, the very first language which I learned. Yeah. Oh, is it? Sorry, I did not knew that. That's a good information.
I worked for his company in Teles now. So Teles X for his name is Rajiv Tandon. So his father, he invented the company.
That's awesome. And I mean, once you start the origin and the journey, it becomes very much interesting to understand where we have reached and where we all can reach, right? So that piece of information is very interesting and important, particularly for people who are just seeing things at a certain stage, not probably from the right origin, right? So thank you so much for sharing that story. And so any other exposure, you would like to share? Yes.
I mean, 3 years back, back when I was in school, we were being asked by our professors what we use calculator. And there was a very good reason behind it, because our logical reasoning and thinking ability was limited in that way if we start using calculators. But in reality, if I ask someone to move a calculation of 102 to 89 or something, like maybe something difficult, how many are willing to do that by their own and not using their phones? The same way, I work in a product company, and my manager asked me that from this month we'll start using ChatGPT, but like a closed source for internal users. And I was a little bit considering that as a business analyst, is my job at risk at this point? And I was hesitant. I was giving you a stare, and I was like, you was mentioning that your job is not at risk, just like you want to see how it would ease your work at your day-to-day life. And I've been using that for some purposes, like I write user stories and writing emails. But at the same time, I feel my thinking ability is not that great as I used to do it earlier. If I want to write an email, I go to ChatGPT, I write an email, it does a great job. Then honestly, I'll be vocal about that. At the same time, if you ask me to write an email after using that for the last 6 months, I'm not able to do it perfectly. So what's your take on, like, if
if I can ask the professor, like, if there's, as you mentioned, you're trying to improve from MCQs to some other solution to evaluate your students. But at the same time, if we are trying, if the workforce is going towards adapting that, how is the balance between that? Because one of the professors back then, when I was doing a postgraduate degree, they were asking what to use ChatGPT. At my work, they're asking me to use ChatGPT. So there's a misalignment in both of the aspects in the education system and the workforce.
Yeah, May, go ahead.
Well, I can appreciate why your employer is asking you
Yeah.
to do that. I think he thinks that he will give you more free time so that you can do something more creative. I think that's the way they think. And I know for a fact, like Microsoft, because they've got this Copilot, they are encouraging all their developers to develop the code using the Copilot. Will that affect the developer's ability to write code from scratch? Yes, he will be slower if he wanted to do that. But remember, like we said, the job of the developer has to evolve. So they want this developer to focus more on integrating the code, for example, into the cloud, understanding security, understanding things that the developer was always stuck in syntax and writing code and maybe doing a little bit of architecture. They want the guy to go beyond. And I think that's the same for your employer, so it's okay if you come back the same email 6 months ago. As long as you can do something, wow, much better today than what you used to do. That's what I think, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I will definitely like to add on that. And yes, exactly. We are seeing this transformational stage right now where certain employers may encourage for something, while other organizations may actually constrain that, no, don't use that. I will take it from two perspectives. One, life skills. How many of you know swimming? Horse riding?
What?
Horse riding. 200 years down the line, or for that matter, even 100 years down the line, if you are somebody with privileges, let me call it this way, considering broader masses, you're supposed to know horse riding because that's one of the basic skill. How do you commute? But right now we are not talking about it because we don't need it or don't want to use it. But do we want to lose the skill? No, that's why we have departments, we have training people, we have certain areas where this is still a mandatory skill. I'm happy to see many of you know swimming while you might not be swimming. Probably only reason because we have got swimming pool in most of our, that we have access to that and we are able to practice it and we are using it for relaxation, exercising and whatnot. That is the reason. So I will take that way. Ability to make basic calculation. When I say basic, it includes what the standard is, right? To what level you will call it as a basic. That should be mandatory. Doesn't necessarily mean that we are doing it all the time. For example, if we do not get an opportunity to write a lot of emails, when we will get a chance to write an article, like we all know how to write in 1 or 2 languages, most probably English would be common because we're in Toronto, but many of you may have another language you are very proficient in. Whenever the last time you wrote a poem, whenever the last time you wrote an article or an essay or something that is that is a different way of putting your information or understanding. If I know a language, writing something in the same language all the time is not as effective as writing something. So the idea here is that once you take time from something which is monotonous, I am all okay for going to the life skill. I define that as one of the life skills. People should know how to do basic maths. Everybody should know. But should we do only that, or should we stop other part? For people who have done that basic drill, let them move forward and spend their time into the next level of skill. That would be my thought there.
I would say, like, from a business perspective, if you ask any founder, like, hey, would you rather use your time to make the $1 decisions or the decisions that will give your business a 1 million revenue? Which one do you think that they will most likely would like to take? That's why if you see a lot of the CEOs, they try to dress with the same clothes a lot of times because they want to reduce the amount of decision making that they have to do, so that they can focus on the important aspects. So when it comes to, for example, your employer, my job is to literally sit down with people like your employer, every single day, and tell them like, hey, it's good that you're doing things in the way that you have been doing so far. I understand that your business will be successful. However, let me show you, there's a better way of doing things. And if you do that right now, you will be on the first early adopters. So most likely you will have an advantage against your competitors. However, if you decide not to do that, it's all right, it's up to you. However, keep in mind that you may have a team of 5 people. Those 5 employees could be doing right now, maybe 2 times, 3 times, whatever they are able to accomplish at this point. If you are able to take all the monotonous stuff out of their daily basis. What do I mean by that? Hey, everything that can be automated should be automated. Why? Because you are valuable, like your skills, your selling skills are amazing. But if you're only answering to emails the whole day, and 90% of those emails are spam, you're wasting your time. So if we can take out that 90% of the time that you were wasting, and now instead of you going through all those emails, you have an AI that can check on that. That's what happened with this spam folder at the beginning, right? Like they were just analyzing everything. They have very like a variety of parameters, but a basic one. So like every family will be like, hey, is this a legit website? Number 1. Number 2, is this a sell? Is this a scam? And if those red flags are met, that email is going to enter your spam folder. It's the same with the activities that we have. A lot of our activities during our like regular jobs, a lot of the things that we do, those things can be automated, and they will be automated at a certain point. Because companies want to get a better reward, like they want to get a better return on whatever investment that they have. The best way of doing that is like being more productive. And once again, with the limited economy, with a limited amount of people. So the more we can get of the limited resource that we have, the better for the business. So if your employer right now is still worried about AI, no worries. At a certain moment, they will have options. Either they adopt AI or someone else will do it. And they will lose their stake in the market. It's unfortunate, it is, but it is what it is. That's a reality that we live right now. So we have to embrace the change instead of being scared of the change. Because if we keep like being scared of the change, somebody else is gonna take advantage. Somebody else is gonna learn how to use AI in the same business that we are, and they're gonna do it better than we now. That's my point.
Yeah, I just add another point. Don't always trust what Gen AI gives out. You still have to do the due diligence and check. I don't know if any of you have read in the newspaper. Last year, remember the elections for Mayor of Toronto? There was a campaign, and one of the candidates' marketing manager decided to use Gen AI to generate the whole marketing campaign, multimedia. It was like great, everything was great until one of the pictures in the campaign, there was this lady with 3 arms. And it was all over the newspaper. So what are you doing as a campaign manager? Like, he didn't even check. And the guy's still there as a campaign manager. You know? So models in Gen AI have something, a property called hallucination. They tend to hallucinate. We are seeing so much good out of them, but there are risks. Hallucination. They're even subject to cyber attacks. You know, these models. So this is what I meant, where you have to start evolve and understand the risks of these models, and let them do the hard work for you. But make sure that the output at the end of the day is perfect. Yeah.
even if you have to write 2 lines from your home. Okay?
That's, sorry, one thing. A lot of people have been asking me clearly a long time about the email that I mentioned. I just share this QR. So if you scan that, it will be a form. So you can put like your email, and I'll send you like a free course that I mentioned before. There are some from IBM, Azure is Microsoft, if you know. AWS, that would be for Amazon, IBM is IBM. And there are also, of course, a bunch from Google. All of those are for free. And you have invested on those ones, ask Kevin. He has the answers. Anyway.
All right. So on that note, we are a little bit over time, but I guess we have discussed a lot of aspects. There's no end to the questions. There's no end to the discussions we may have, and that's why we try to have series of discussions. We will have many upcoming events as well. I think we are good to bind off from today's session. So I'll make some announcement. Just to conclude the discussion we had, I would like to put it this way. Let's get back to some basics. Taking the latest example that you mentioned about the messaging, writing email as a skill, or ability to write a message as a skill. The basic is our ability to write a message. Our ability to write a message for a birthday, happy birthday to you, have a blast, is okay. But if we are able to write really something when we are really wanting to, and if you really want to send some personalized message, you will need to spend time on that, and you will like to, in spite of automated prompt. I personally sometimes feel Grammarly is correcting me too much. I don't want to be that much correct. Let it have the feel of me by having some mistakes over there. So I'm saying let it, but I will have Grammarly. I will have it because I don't want to make those typos and stuff unconscious, but the flavor of me is in my control. So let me have the control, let the tools give me whatever they have to offer. I don't have any problem with them evolving as long as it's regulated. So the key word I will leave today, and we will discuss this in our upcoming event also, is the regulated AI. That's the tip. We will definitely have some session primarily on regulated AI in coming days. So on that note, I would like to thank a lot, Louis and May, and to you all primarily. Thank you for bearing with us on a Sunday. You could have done all sort of things. You have stayed with us from morning, almost 9 to 10, till 4. That's really a great sense of reflection on what we try to do. So have a very lovely day. We will have certificates of participation you would like to collect outside. They should be ready by now, I guess, yeah. And on this note, before I conclude, the final word I would like to say is about people whom you see with the black T-shirt and the logo. They are the one who are reason why we are able to sell it through. So if you get a chance, make sure that you thank them. We will definitely convey the thanks. And there are always certain contributors behind the curtain who would not be that much visible. And we have a gentleman over there, right there. So a huge round of cheers for the gentleman who made sure that our day is right. So we must try to recognize people who are making things happen. And on that note, yes, thank you so much for coming. Have a very lovely day. Not lot of weekend left, but yeah. And if you want to have a group picture, we are segregated in different rooms. You can just join over here. We can have one picture, and then we can discuss. His present is given. Is given. Yeah, that is for Puneet, who is doing the workshop. Yeah. Let's join for a group picture, a small.